All right, go Niranjan from Tata Capital is joining us. Also, Niranjan Hiranandani is with us as well. Thank you both so much for being with us. Right, Mr. Hiranandani, you want to weigh in on that as well?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is this health issue of insurance cover. It's unprecedented. I don't think in the annals of anywhere in the world this kind of thing has been brought up so quickly, so fast at one point of time. It's an immense task for the government to really set up the infrastructure for this. And if this really happens, I think it's a paradigm which will help 50 crore people. The second, of course, is the benefit given to the salaried class. They have always been the kind of negative, and that time you have about 7 crore people who are salaried class, which would get benefit of the deduction of 40,000, which would be say 15% tax, so about 6,000 rupees per salaried employee would be benefited from the tax reduction that will be given. So 57 crore people get a straight benefit which is unprecedented. I think these are the two major takeaways in terms of the the overall thing, which I think will affect all the people across the board. The emphasis, of course, has been agriculture and not other things. And in the housing sector, I see only one thing, the reiteration of the fact that housing for all by 2022 was mentioned, but he immediately said he's taking over, the government takes over the National Housing Bank. So just like vehicles like NHAI is used by Mr. Gadkari as a foundation to be able to roll out the road program over here, obviously the government will use the NHP leverage in terms of for the purposes of housing for all. So all the other sectors where funding would be given as interest subvention, etc., would probably be done through the NHB and other facilities, including the benefit of infrastructure status. So I think the gap which was there, which was quite obvious last year that it would not be fulfilled, a vehicle is now being readied by the government in order to use that vehicle for the purposes of creating it. So either through the state machineries like MADA, like DDA and others would receive fundings either directly or indirectly, and obviously the interest subvention, etc., which has already been announced last year, and infrastructure status. So though nothing much was mentioned in terms of the housing sector benefit, and I agree here that we would have liked lots of things to happen, but I don't think it did happen. There are two gaps which I do feel have been very large. Number one is the fact that the benefit of 5% difference between the ready reckoner rate or the circle rate and the real rate is ridiculous. On one side, the government wants the prices of real estate to be brought down by whatever means, including government intervention in terms of giving land, property, etc. And on the other side, you don't want to have the prices reduced beyond 5%. I mean, this is a contradiction in terms, and I think that needs to be eliminated, if not corrected tremendously. So I think that's one thing which I see. The second obviously will happen through the GST Council. We've been working to say that the rate of GST is too high in the segment of housing, that sector. If you want to do housing for all, people are not paying 12% of rates when it crosses this. And in Mumbai and Delhi, the area for affordable housing is considered as 30 square meters. I think that needed a change. So if you buy a 40 square meter apartment, you're paying 12% until the occupancy certificate of the building is given. All the people are postponing buying, and that's not the intention of government. Obviously, government would like the people to buy the apartments and pay for it through installments, etc. Right. Otherwise, the difficulty would be if everybody postponed buying, then all the projects that have started are not going to fructify till another 3 to 5 years.
Good point. Okay, good point. Thank you very, very much. Those are important pluses and minuses. Shashi Tharoor, you